Hello, I'm Cindy, a Utility Services Specialist for the Orange County Utility Solid Waste Division. Ever wonder what happens to your garbage when you put it at the curb or dispose of it at a restaurant? Join me as I help answer that question and show you around the Orange County Landfill located in East Orange County. At about 5,000 acres, this is the largest publicly owned landfill in the state of Florida. Operations began in 1971 with 1,500 acres, and since then, an additional 3,500 acres were purchased for future expansion. Approximately 40% of the land has been reserved for conservation. Between 2019 and 2020, the Orange County landfill received over 1,081,000 tons of waste. That's about the weight of 7,200 blue whales. Waste includes residential and commercial or business garbage, recycling, yard waste, household hazardous waste, and waste tires. The landfill receives an average of 2,551 tons per day and is open 363 days a year, closed just on Thanksgiving and Christmas. This solid waste administration building houses the Solid Waste Hotline call center. Customer service representatives answer calls from the over 220,000 unincorporated Orange County households serviced with garbage, recycling, yard waste, and large item curbside collection. Field techs respond to specific service issues or requests from residents. Environmental staff who work to ensure the landfill meets state and federal regulations are also housed here. Other staff support scalehouse operations, procurement, and human resources. This same building houses the mechanic shop and is the only county facility that maintains its own vehicles. A team of mechanics services all road vehicles like tractor trailers and pickup trucks, as well as some of the heavy equipment such as compactors and water tankers. The landfill needs a lot of different equipment to operate. There are over 50 types of machines. This small building is called a scale house. Vehicles enter here to be weighed on the scale. The screen will then show the weight. The employee in the building, the weighmaster, will look at what kind of material it is, such as tires or yard waste, and take a deposit. Customers are charged based on the tonnage and type of material. The weighmaster will also direct customers to the correct disposal area. After unloading, the customers weigh out and are charged for the difference in weight. That way, they are only charged for the materials they unloaded and not for the weight of the vehicle itself. Depending on the final weight, the customer may either pay more or get money back. The weighmasters are the first line of customer service at the landfill, where they process over 314,000 customer transactions annually. The Household Hazardous and Electronic Waste Facility is operated by a contractor who also runs a similar facility at the Porter Transfer Station. Disposal is free to county residents for items such as paint, propane tanks, batteries, glues, pesticides, fertilizers, acids, petroleum products, and other chemicals, as well as household electronics such as cell phones, computers, and flat-screen TVs. Since 1992, collections include more than 7,400,000 pounds of hazardous chemicals. More than 6 million pounds of electronic waste have been collected since 2003. Household hazardous waste and electronic waste drop-off at the landfill is available 7 days a week and is a better option than putting these items in the regular garbage. For more information, please visit www.ocfl.net/HHW. The original materials recovery processing facility opened in 1990. Due to maintenance and operating costs, this facility currently serves as a transfer station for recyclables. Once recyclables are dropped off, they are inspected for contamination and then transported for processing to the Waste Management Materials Recovery Facility located in Cocoa Beach. Recyclables are dropped off at the Materials Recovery Facility to be sorted and prepared for remanufacturing. First, they are dumped on the facility's floor, then loaded into a conveyor belt to begin the sorting process. Workers remove any visible non-recyclables. Afterwards, all of the recyclables fall into a machine with star-shaped wheels that float the cardboard and paper, while heavier materials fall to a lower floor. Additional workers separate paper by hand before the rest of the recyclables are moved onto an area that uses vibrations and air to further process the materials. From here, glass is crushed and separated into a storage area. Plastic and metal materials move on to the next stage. Metal cans are separated from the remaining materials using a strong magnet, and plastics are identified using optical sorters. Optical sorters are lasers that can identify the type of plastic resin that makes up the material. Once the type of plastic is identified, a puff of air will separate it and send it into a separate area of the facility. Finally, aluminum cans are magnetized by an eddy current, a type of electrical current, and sent into another area of the facility. After all the materials have been separated by type, they are crushed into bales and sent to recycling plants for remanufacturing into new materials. Residents should think 5 when recycling by focusing on the top 5 recyclable items: plastic bottles, jugs and tubs labeled number 1 through 5, metal cans, glass bottles and jars, cardboard, and paper. Since 1990, Orange County residents have recycled more than 854,255 tons. The more we recycle right, the more landfill space we're able to save. There are a total of 5 individual landfills located at this facility. 3 of the landfills have been closed, and the other 2 are currently active. One is a Class 1 landfill, and the other is a Class 3. Class 1 landfills are filled with putrescible waste, or waste that will decay over time. This is usually made up of garbage from households, restaurants, and commercial establishments. Class 3 landfills are filled with non-putrescible waste. This is made up of waste that won't easily decay over time. You usually find things like construction and demolition debris and furniture in a Class 3 landfill. Landfill construction is regulated by both state and federal laws. Landfills have both a bottom liner and a top liner. The liners are really strong so as to not allow garbage to poke through. Think of it like a really strong garbage bag holding all the trash inside without letting any fall out. The liners are made of several layers of materials, including geosynthetic clay and high-density polyethylene plastic. The liner also filters rainwater that gets into the hill. When it rains, the water sometimes travels through the hill down to the bottom and produces a liquid called leachate. Leachate is collected and pumped underground to a water reclamation facility where it is treated. Some of it is sent to OUC's Stanton Energy Center, where it is used in the cooling towers. Another thing that happens when the garbage is compacted is the creation of landfill gas. This includes methane gas, a greenhouse gas that can harm the environment. Methane is vacuumed out of the hill and sent to the OUC Energy Center to power homes. OUC pays Orange County for the methane gas. Through this nationally recognized partnership, the landfill provides enough energy to generate electricity for approximately 4,000 homes and eventually for approximately 13,000 homes at peak flow. Another benefit is that greenhouse gas emissions from the landfill are reduced each year from this program. At one of the active landfills, garbage is dumped, spread by a dozer, and then crushed by a compactor to maximize space. Every day, garbage is covered by 6 inches of dirt to control odors and prevent animals from digging into the hill. There are plans to continue Class 1 disposal operations for at least the next 50 years. To reduce traffic and the impact on roadways, there are 2 transfer stations located on the west side of the county. Residential and commercial customers can drop off their waste, which is then loaded into transfer trailers. Each trailer holds the equivalent of 3 residential garbage truckloads. These trailers are constructed of a lightweight aluminum to maximize the amount of garbage they can hold. They have walking floors that push out the garbage without having to tip the trailer. Staff drive about 1,200 miles a week between the landfill and the transfer stations. That's about the distance from here to New York. This 20-acre paved area is where residential and commercial yard waste is processed. It is all ground into mulch and used for waste cell side slope protection, wet weather floors, or roadways on the active landfills. To keep personal vehicles away from large trucks and equipment on the hills, there's a specific drop-off area for residents to use. A recycling container is also available for those who live in apartments without recycling or those who have extra recyclables. Thank you for coming along on this virtual tour of the Orange County Landfill. The Orange County Utilities Solid Waste Division prides itself in providing essential services for the community in an efficient and environmentally sound manner. We hope you learned something new today.